I'm going to direct this answer to my fellas.
Okay.
Fellas, if you take a detour home to prepare your mind for what you may have to deal with when you get home. I'm just saying, you're getting off work and you're taking a detour to prepare yourself mentally to what you may or may not walk in, just depending on the day. You might be with the wrong person. This is C3, coming to you live from Richmond, Texas, Couples Casual Conversation. I'm GregoryDeon.
I'm DorianMarie.
And we are here to have a conversation. How do I know I'm with the right person?
And how do I know that I'm with the right person?
I guess the best way to determine whether you're with the right person is to look past that person and look at all the things that you have to do in order to maintain the relationship.
Look at all the things that you have to do to maintain the relationship. Meaning, like, we're going through counseling, we're going through therapy, we're talking to people. Every year, it seems like we're going through something and we're always seeking outside resources or trying to get help just to have a relationship. I'll say this. I feel like if I have to fight for this marriage and fight for this relationship and we gonna make it work, I don't want it. I don't feel like I'm with the right person if I have to do all of that. That's just my opinion.
And I get that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with, couples going to therapy, going to counseling. And I believe that is part of it, using those resources to maybe dig out some things or some differences that you two may have. But at the end of the day, once that process has been utilized, then what?
If you haven't elevated and we haven't grew and we haven't changed and we're still the same people or we're still going through the same things, that's what I'm saying is, okay, counseling is great, therapy is great, because sometimes it's for the individual person. That person needs to dig some things out and that's affecting and impacting the relationship. But once that season is over and once those sessions are over and we're still having to make it work, and I've experienced that where people like, we just praying and we just fasting for our marriage, fasting for our relationship. All I'm saying is, could it be that you're not with the right person? That's all.
Yeah, it could. I believe so. It could be that, because I believe that relationships should happen naturally. I don't. We shouldn't be fighting to stay together all of the time.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, when are we going to enjoy one another?
And even when we have what we call moments of opportunity, or you call them opportunities for improvement. You call them opportunities for improvement. Other people may call them arguments and we're fighting and we're going through things, or tension and conflict in the relationship. When you have opportunities to grow and elevate, but then after that, we're right back at working on something else, and then we're fighting through this and fighting through that, all to stay in a marriage or a relationship. And I could be with the wrong person, because when you and I have those opportunities of growth, afterwards we still like each other. We still have fun. We still communicate. We are still drawn to each other, like naturally, like even more so when we go through times of where we're growing and we're trying to work through things. We still are like, it's like we draw to each other even more. And that's how I know that I'm with the right person.
I see sometimes what happens in relationships, couples will occupy their mind with busy stuff. Let's go out, let's do this, let's create this, let's build this, let's, do all these projects and different things together, which in the moment is great. And I think that's good. I think that's really, really effective in a relationship. But when there's not a project, when the kids are taken care of, when, all the bills and everything is taken care of and managed, are y'all just sitting there staring at each other and not communicating? Or y'all actually having fun and enjoying that, man, we accomplished this, we accomplished that, let's just enjoy one another's presence right now and really just bask in what we've accomplished? Or are we looking for the next thing to keep us occupied?
And this is why when the kids turn 18, it's an empty nest and they break up.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's why when all the kids go off to college, then they just sitting there looking at each other and we don't even know who we are or who we are as a couple. And so that's why I say, when people say, I'm fighting for my marriage, you're fighting for an institution, but what about the people in the union? Right.
Because I believe that's the most important part. You have to have that connection.
I have found that people stay together for the wrong reasons, and it's not the right person. They stay together because somebody got pregnant. If they're in the church, God hates divorce. well, we built this house together. Well, we got this together. Like you were just saying, all these different projects, but you're still not with the right person. So how would you expound on that when you say, well, it looks good. It looks good that we're together. It looks like the picture perfect, and other people like us together. And other people say we look good together. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about people that are considering if they're in the right relationship.
I'm going to answer it this way.
Okay.
I'm going to direct this answer to my fellas.
Okay.
Fellas, if you take a detour home, if you're taking a detour home to prepare your mind for what you may have to deal with when you get home. Now, I'm not talking about these situations that you've created for yourself. I'm just saying, you're getting off work and you're taking a detour to prepare yourself mentally to what you may or may not walk in, just depending on the day. You might be with the wrong person. That should be one of those transition times when you're on your way home, and as soon as you hit the door, you know, you go to your lady, or even ladies, you go to your man, and that should be that homey feeling. I'm glad to be here. Let me embrace and exhale, and man, let's enjoy one another's company and do whatever it is that needs to be done. But if you're taking that detour a couple of days a week, you might be with the wrong person.
Right. Even when you have those seasons of growth, opportunities, because we've had some tears.
Yes.
A lot of tears.
And some tears and some fears.
And some tears and some fears. But we always still want to come together and work through them together, and without outside help. I'm not saying that outside help is not appropriate at times, but if that's a constant, we're always in somebody's therapy office, but you and I, like, we come together and let's work through this, let's work through that.
Yeah,
I know I'm with the right person.
And I like that, because even though we have those moments of growth, we will just sit next to each other, whether we hold hands or not, but we would just sit there and just be quiet.
Just be quiet.
And, you know, think about what is happening. You know, and for me, I do a lot of reflecting, you know, based off, you know, choices, decisions, things like that. But we won't, one thing that we purposely don't do is we don't separate. We don't run over here, or I'm gonna hop in my car and I'm gonna run there. You know, those things I have done in the past, but you know, when you are grown
with the right person,
with the right person, you don't go running off. You sit there and you do what you do what needs to be done, in order to make progress, not just to pass the moment, but you want to make progress.
And I'm literally thinking, like, every time we've had, you know, those opportunities of growth, we never have left. Like, we'll stay there even if it's an hour or two, and we're gonna work through that until, you know, we
bang it out.
Pretty much. Yeah. And then we were talking earlier, and you said, other people may like us together, but what if you don't like us together?
That could be very deceiving. You know, you are the people that are in the home. Y'all know what happens behind closed doors. And then, you know, people will, you know, suggest to have a universal front, but that just builds more frustration, because now you're seemingly enjoying one another in the public eye, but the moment that car door closes, it's silence. Because you know what's really what's the real deal is, you know, and versus flipping it, you know, and making it transparent, and just really coming to yourself and like asking yourself the question: am I with
the right person?
Am I with the right person?
Do I like us together? Do I like us?
Yeah.
We like y'all together. We just love y'all together.
Y'all just look
so good. It's picture perfect. Y'all got the house, the car. Yeah, but we don't like each other. That's what some people are thinking, that they really don't like each other.
Yeah.
Some people have never heard that you're with the wrong person. What people are told when they're going through stuff constantly in their relationship, oh, you just need to trust God. You just need to stick it out. Or, you know, God's going to work it out, or get help, or, you know, they say all the things around it, but could it be that they're with the wrong person?
Absolutely. See, people will search for or try to resource entities to fix what they're more than capable of fixing. But the problem is they don't want to do the work. They want to, say a prayer, make a wish, and then sit there and wait.
Right. But
nothing happens when you wait.
No, nothing happens when you wait. Nothing happens when you wait. And then nothing is going to change and shift, though, if you're not with the right person. Right. They'll even tell you, oh, the devil is just trying to steal your relationship. The devil just trying to steal your marriage. But nobody really hears that you just married the wrong person. Here's the thing. You can go to college in midway or towards the end, you're about to graduate and get your degree and decide, you know what, that's the wrong profession for me. And then you get out of going to school to be a cook, and then you go to school to be something else, and then you flourish and you prosper because that's really what you want to do. And you probably started that journey because your mom and them said, all of us are going to be doctors. All of us are going to be this. People do it all the time. Yeah. They can be at a job and they're working their way up and they decide this is not the right job for me and they leave. But when it comes to relationships, especially people that are in, religion, you get stuck. I have to stick this out. But I don't like this person. I don't like the relationship.
I tell people that I come into contact with all the time, if you don't like what you're doing, do something different. But then, when you choose to do something different that people have expect you to continue to do, and you change it, sometimes they come against you.
Right.
But it comes down to you. If you don't like what you're doing, do something different.
Right.
Because if you continue to force yourself to do something that you don't like doing, it's going to come out in your actions. It's going to come out in your attitudes. It's going to come out in your thoughts. It's going to come out in how you treat people.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're not happy with yourself.
Right. Now, we'll probably have to do a part 2 on how do you know that you're with the right person, because this is, am I with the right person or with the wrong person? But how do you know that you're with the right person? And some of the things about us is we communicate. We drove up here, 4 hours?
Yeah.
And every time we travel, we communicate. We're talking to each other. And some people can't even talk for 5-10 minutes in the house that they live in. But to get on a road trip and talk to somebody, right? And then, we work things out, in a very healthy way.
Right.
But how will you know that, this is the right thing? Like I said, it'll probably have to be a different video. What characteristics of our relationship that can tell us and let us know confidently that we're with the right person?
I believe that you're with the right person when they challenge you to grow. If they just, this is one of those things I just don't like hearing. This is just the way that I am. You're literally telling yourself, I can't grow. I can't be better. I can't change, And sometimes that programming comes from your past. But the thing is, when you want to create something new, you have to learn new skills. When you want to be better than you are at doing a task, you have to practice.
Right.
So things like that don't just come natural. You have to be willing to put in the work. Yeah. This is C3. Couples Casual Conversation.